Hey everyone, I just wanted to show you what you get when you purchase CA notes from Merit Training. So CA notes, first of all, let's start off with what you get. So you get up-to-date Merit quality notes by all subjects. Now for a lot of the subjects you also get templates files. For example, for the Fin module you're going to get these really good journal templates which tell you all the journals that you need to post for any given scenario. And for tax, for example, you're going to get all the different tax reconciliation items that you need to do for a question 1 tax rec. Now you're also going to get many years of final past exam papers to practice them, as well as quizzes, so past quiz questions with answers, so many of those questions, as well as other subject materials that you might find useful. And of course, if you want to check it out before you buy, you can always click here and go to sample notes. That'll take you to a Google Drive page where you can actually have a look at some of the extracts before you actually pay money for it. But what I'm going to show you now is what you get when you buy one of these CA notes, which of course you can just buy by clicking here and that'll take you through to the purchase page, or you can get a big discount by buying all the notes at once. So let's get started and have a look at what you get once you download it. You'll be sent an automatic email with a download link for the file, so check your email. If it hasn't shown up there, check your junk box just in case. If you click that, you can download the files. Now you can always go back to your profile and re-download the link to get the most up-to-date notes, or you can message us on the chat box down here and we'll get back to you and send you a download link for those files. Now let's have a look at what you get when you purchase one of these notes. Okay, so I've purchased the All product, which gives me a big discount but allows me access to all of the modules. I've been emailed a download link, I've downloaded that, I've now installed these on my computer. So let's have a quick dive through at some of these different subjects. So for example, Taxation Australia. So we're going to get the CSG up to date, we're going to get Masterclass Quick Reference, we're going to get other notes, lots and lots of past papers. Look how many years are actually there. We're going to get past quizzes, and this one's super useful because if you take a look at this, what we've done is we've compiled every possible question from previous quizzes. And what we've done is we've written the answers and the explanation as well as the question. So whilst you're doing your own quiz, what you can do is do a Control F for the keywords and kind of learn the process. And even if the numbers change, you've still got the process there to follow and kind of help you with your quiz. Super useful. Look how long it is. There's so many different responses. Moving on to, and then of course with every subject you're going to get some a critical file and notes. So these are the main notes you refer to whilst learning the subject itself. It's a summarization of the CSG. There's a lot of information there that you don't need. This cuts out that, just focus on the key information. And of course we update this every semester so you know you're always getting the most up-to-date notes. So as you can see, a lot of information summarized in here, easy to read. So for tax, for example, you're going to need all of the section references. That's going to be a nightmare for you to summarize yourself, and it's obviously going to take too long in an exam to flick through the CSG, find that. It's all summarized down here, including case law, by subject. You can do a Control F, you can print it off, convert it to a PDF, whatever you like. It's all here, the best possible notes. Now, of course, I mentioned before that with any subject, of course it's dependent on the subject, but you may get certain templates as well. So, for example, tax, we mentioned that you're going to get the Tax Rec Guide, which is a complete list of tax rec adjustments. Really handy for question 1, which is usually a tax rec question, but also handy for quizzes, handy for other questions as well when you just want to figure out how something is actually assessed for tax purposes. So this is alphabetized and it's got every different type of P&L or tax item or balance sheet item and how you actually treat it for tax, including the section reference or the case study over to the side. Super long document and really helpful. And of course we've got a summary of key legislation over here by case law as well. So that was a quick run through of tax as an example. Let's do another example. Have a look at Fin module, which is another important and challenging module as part of CA. So you're going to get a whole bunch of past exams as per the other subjects. You're going to get work examples, past quizzes and solutions, same as before. So if we open this up, it's going to make your quiz a whole lot easier. We do this for all subjects. We've got past practice questions, the answers, and the explanation. Look how many there are in here. It's a lot. Super useful. You can also practice these on our website on the quizzes page. We've got some applications which allows you to actually test yourself on the quizzes. It's a good way to practice. Other resources, and of course all modules as well. We give you some of the sample exam prep videos from the main exam prep course as well if you want to check that out. We give you critical file and notes as you saw for the tax, so similar layout there, really helpful. Instead of loading CSG, you can just flick through these notes and it's a summarized version as well with all the key references, etc. Now with Fin, I also wanted to show you this template guide, which is really useful. It's a journals template, really handy. Now I don't think a lot of people would have passed if it wasn't for this document. Now what you do is you go through the relevant topics. So for example, if you want to go to financial instruments or impairment for assets, let's go to impairment for assets, just click there. It tells you all the journals that you need depending on the situation, including the formulas for actually calculating it. It says journals for calculating provision, the calculation, and then the journals you have to post. Look how long it is. All the topics are there. Some of the journals are really hard to remember, and it's not always clear in the textbook. This just lays it out in a really easy way to follow. Just do step 1, for example, with these PP&E revaluations. So it's, is there an increment in the valuation where there's no prior decrement? You post these journals. If it's this situation, you post these. If it's this situation, you post these. Really useful. Okay, moving on to audit. So audit, very similar structure. You get all the similar kinds of resources. So CSG, worked examples, past quizzes and solutions, which is those work papers I showed you before, past exams, many different years, audit procedures and assertions, sample exam prep videos. Of course, there's super useful critical file and notes. Now, this is the journal template for audit. You actually get an assertion table, and there's more in this folder over here with different procedures and assertions. Now, what this does is it actually lays out all the assertions that you need, which is a critical part of audit. And there's more in this folder as well. So for example, procedures. A lot of exam papers ask you to kind of design a procedure to test this, whether it's a test to control, whether it's substantive analytical procedures and so forth. We've got examples for each. Right? So very long documents. You can just go and do a Control F for the key subject. There's examples of tests to control. There's also assertions here, which is another key part of audit. For example, are we testing inventory for completeness? Is it rights and obligations? There's evaluations, disclosure, and so forth. These are all categorized by balance sheet or P&L items, so you can look at that. Look at the assertion that's being asked to design a control for, and then it tells you potential errors and audit procedures. So super useful notes for audit. Now I won't go through all of the subjects because they're all fairly similar. They all have the similar style in terms of its past notes, critical file, other resources, templates, quiz files, any other useful information that you might need. So same for all of these, and we've also got New Zealand tax notes as well. If you're in New Zealand, Fin, Audit, Math, Capstone are all fine to use, but if you're in New Zealand, the Australian tax module is actually quite different. So that's why we've designed this extra product for you. So if you're from New Zealand, you can buy these ones. If you're from Australia, you can buy these ones. Or if you're buying the all, you get all 6 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Now, Capstone's a little bit different because the structure is different. So what we give you in here is to give you past example templates for written assessment, speech assessment, final exam prep. We also give you past exam papers, sample exam prep courses, CSG, and any other useful information in there. So obviously it's a different subject, so it's different materials. But overall, feedback for these products is it's super useful, super relevant, and is often the difference between getting a fail or a pass score in a CA module. Hope you found this useful, and hopefully we see you as a customer of Merit CA, and also check out our exam prep courses if you need a little bit of extra help or you want someone to walk you through the past exam papers. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on our site.